Bianca, good to see you. Welcome to Pop Alternative.
Thank you for having me. It's good to see you too.
It's exciting. Episodes of season 4 of The Way Home, the final season, are rolling out on Hallmark Channel, Hallmark Plus. I do find it interesting, right? Because at some point you do get these scripts and you know about this show because there were 3 seasons before. What was that like reading the scripts and then seeing everything come to life once you got there on set, so to speak? What was that like for you?
Oh, it was so special. It was also quite a whirlwind, because on the way home, I didn't have access to all of the scripts prior to filming. We sort of get them as we go, like an episode or two at a time. So it was a beautiful journey of discovery and surprises and oh gods, and everyone's in for a really wild ride, I will say. But yeah, it was just so special to keep unfolding Fern's story because I fell in love with her from the moment I read the audition sides. And I was just so excited to know where she was heading in life. And it was such a gift to play her and bring her story to life.
I've asked a lot of your fellow cast about this in regards to a show like this, which I think really does a really good job. Is there's so many kind of elements at play, right? There's kind of the, family component, the romantic component, the drama, but of course the time travel. And I'm wondering for you specifically, where does the time travel component of The Way Home rank in terms of some of your favorite things about being part of this show, so to speak?
Oh my. I mean, I think it's sort of the core of it in many ways and like the tether of it all when it comes to all of these different generations and, founding families and their lineage. So I think it ranks pretty high for me. And it's really exciting. And I think, Fern is someone who we understand from episode 2. She's adamant about the future and she's not really interested in time travel, but I think me as the viewer, I just think it's so fascinating and really the core of the story. So it's way up there for me.
What is the general mindset about going back in time for a role? Are you thinking about aesthetic? Are you thinking about specifically kind of costume design? Like, is there any specific thing like early on that you're preparing yourself for in terms of going back in time for a role?
Yeah, like when it comes to doing a period piece?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's so exciting, right? Because one of my favorite things to do as an actor is to be able to step into worlds that feel really transformative. So whether that's, a period piece or whether that's fantasy, a completely made-up world that doesn't look anything like what we experience on a day-to-day basis, it's just so exciting. You immediately, putting on these garments and these shoes and these accessories and things, it brings to life a different part of me, I guess, a different piece of me inside. So I was really, really excited for all of that. And, the sets too and everything are just so incredible. Our set deck team and carpenters and everyone they're just so incredible. It was such a beautiful playground to be in as an actor because it all just felt so real with all the attention to detail they had. So yeah, it's always really exciting to step into a different era for sure.
And going back to my first question a little bit too, episodes roll out week to week and people kind of talk about what happened and theories and everything. I'm wondering what it's like for you kind of preparing for one of those journeys where, it is that week to week drop, right? There is kind of like certain things when you film something that you're going to think about versus other things rather than, doing something like a movie, it's out, it's done. There's like more kind of like anticipation, right? You know what I mean? That's very exciting from a storyteller perspective.
Oh, it absolutely is. And it's exciting for all of us. I think actually it's now that I'm experiencing it, it's probably my favorite way to experience a project post, creating it. Yeah. And it's exciting too because I feel like we get to really go on that journey with the fans. They're so interactive with us on social media and stuff, and it's really fun to see all their theories and the things that they're excited about and the things that made them gasp. And it's really fun, and it lets us feel like we're a part of the audience too in that way, and having it get to be like so drawn out is special, I think, because when you make art, you're so, I mean, at least I'm with this role, I'm so in love with what we created as a team. I'm so in love with Fern, and so it's something that I've like held close to my heart through this cocoon phase, and now that it's out in the world, it's nice to sort of be able to savor it alongside, audiences. So I'm really grateful for the experience of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Two more questions before we wrap up. I mean, kind of side B to that question I just asked is, I know when you're, from an actor perspective, it's really kind of in the moment. You're focusing on playing young Fern when you're in production. Like, I know you're focusing on that and the characters and everything. But given kind of what we just said, right? Like, this is a show that like has the audiences talking. People talk about it. They're excited to watch it. There's a real communal component to The Way Home, and we see it online. Are you ever conscious of the audience member watching The Way Home while you're making it at all? Or is that something that happens after you wrap?
I think afterwards, like I just feel like I'm so in my element or in the zone when I'm creating something. And I mean, I think on some level, like we have such a care for the audience, and coming into the show as someone new this season, I was, immediately made to feel a part of family, and also really told so much about this beautiful extended family of fans and people who watch the show. And so I think they're definitely in our hearts as we're creating it. But I think the conscious mind is really focused on the story that we're telling and what we have to accomplish here. But they're always, I think, like the core of that behind it all. Yeah.
100%. And then last question. It's interesting. You joined a show for season 4. There were 3 seasons before that. It's always interesting seasons 1 and 2, right? When someone joins something on season 2, a lot of the characters we saw in season 1 are still being kind of fleshed out. They're developing and everything. But like you're joining a show where a lot of characters are really fleshed out. People know those characters. I wanted to know what it was like for you joining a show in season 4 compared to joining on season 2. Because I feel like 2 seasons makes a big difference.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a really well-oiled machine, this show. Our creator, Marley, and our showrunners, Alex and Heather, they are so brilliant. I don't even know how they do what they do, because time travel is really complicated. There's so much to keep track of, and they're just so brilliant at it. So it's like coming into it in season 4, like they're so locked in and they're so established that it's so easy to like trust everything that's going on. And it was one of the most warm, friendly, kind, respectful, collaborative, curious, and creative sets that I have ever been on. So it was really a gift. And not only is it really well established, but it was also really exciting because, every season brings about new eras. And so we all got to still experience new together because of the introduction of the 20s. So it was a kind of a nice balance of, something established and something new. So yeah, it was such a blast. And it's one of the most treasured creative experiences of my life.
Absolutely. Very well said. And like we said at the top of the interview, episodes of season 4 of The Way Home, the final season, are rolling out week to week on a Hallmark channel, Hallmark Plus, so they can catch you as young Fern. Bianca, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was so fun chatting with you today.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Bianca and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.